This is what we just ran. Trying to get a good shot of that so that you can see them. It doesn't look like it's that clear. Anyway. Had two pretty close together there, huh?
Yeah.
Did that quite accurate, and you pulled a fast one on me by putting them real close together, but it still handled it. That's great. These are soy, huh?
Last couple of them are.
Pepper, shut it up.
That's soy. That one's soy. That one's soy.
What's that one?
American.
That's the label on top of a label. Oh, you're doing labels on top of labels. Okay. One way, another sit the other way. You have to take and hold them on your first with this TAMP and my label machine. After playing around for a while and holding these candles that are crooked and the top fell off, all 6 labels. There's 6 labels here, believe it or not, I think.
President Obama coming out today declaring the governor irresponsible and this guy was signing illegal alien bill.
Anyway,
Everyone wants to know.
Bina, I can edit the hell out of this, it's no big deal. Look at this, guys. Label machine applied 6 labels, all one on top of another within the 64th of an inch. No one else does that. Especially with a candle, because these candles are not all straight because of the way that they're molded. In order to compensate for the fact that these things are sitting sometimes this way and sometimes that way and whatever because the bottom's not straight, we did 2 things. One of them we took and made a groove into the conveyor belt for the wick to have a place to go so they sit reasonably straight. The next thing we did is we took and made a grabber, as we call it, that takes and grabs the candle and holds it in a certain position for it to apply the label. And so by doing that, we were able to straighten the label up, straighten the candle up with the label, and apply it in a reasonable manner to meet the specifications that we're trying to accomplish. We do have a manual over here for doing this. We have an off position, and we have an automatic position here on the controller to control it. The whole idea of this thing is simplicity. Turn it on, it's automatic. Except I didn't turn this on, did I? When I say automatic, it's this way. Now we'll see how good of a label it looks. How about that? Now the label where it belongs. This unit here might want to, if you got a good enough angle over there, for me to show them what we have here. And all FHECO labels are basically the same type of control system on them. They have basically a power button, a enable button, which when you push it once, it's enabled, you push it again and it's disabled. So once the LED lights up, it's enabled. All the timing controls are clearly marked in the panel, and by selecting where you want particular inputs to change, and which is like 1/100th of a second for each number, and you would almost incredible the fact that the difference between 1 and 4 milliseconds hundredths of a second will make a difference in where it stops and places the label, for example. This here is a test position here. When you push that, you will see that the operation goes through a test system here, so it dispenses one. Everything in these machines, I shouldn't say everything, but on this particular one, we do have one relay that controls the conveyor and starts and stops it because we have a double head. As you can see, it's very simple inside, and we have a PLC that operates it. We have our power supply, we have our drivers, and of course you have the operator panel and the cover, and that's about all there is to it. It's very reliable that way. We don't have any timer relays or anything like that. We do have an internal power circuit breaker in here in case of any problems, and it draws very little current because we have a 2 amp breaker there, and it's nowhere near pulling more power than it needs. So we run on 115 volts at 2 amps. We have models that run to 220 as well. All we do is just change the motor in the label head. The label, talking about the labeler itself, come in here and I can try and point some things out, is this here, eye here senses the labels. It can be changed, it's an option to a clear label detector if you're running clear labels, for example. And it's just very easy to plug in another one for it and run a clear label detector if need by it. You have the air regulator here, which is set to some pressure level to operate all the air solenoids and so on in here. And so it's all pretty straightforward. The cylinder here, the air cylinders, everything's air operated. It's set up so you can take and disconnect this particular set of hoses from here and move the whole thing and run it on any type of conveyor that you want to. It doesn't have to run just on this one. For example, if you have something else in production in another section, and that you can run it parallel with the conveyor, or you can run it perpendicular. If it's a round label, you really don't care. We have the adjustments here where you can raise and lower it for larger containers and so on. This is also set up to run the large candles. Put the label on the top, and then goes down to the next labeler and wipes it on the side. And that's why we have a big long 15-foot conveyor here. We have control in the middle and another on-off control on the other end. About this particular type of a labeler, it's a common white labeler. Again, the difference we have here is we have the notched conveyor top to facilitate the candle wick so that it has a place to go so it sets straight in the machine. We're not set quite straight the way this is. See that? There. Now they're in there straight. Now they probably won't hit like they were. Anyway, it's all automatic on the label machine. There's no bolts or anything clamping it on. It's got clamps that come up underneath and clamp. Everything's pretty much adjustable. It's all operated once again with a simple control panel, the on-off button and the enable button, the test button, and the control panel. The inside electronics. This is on a swivel on this particular model, where you can work it from any end, and everything inside of this is solid state relay, PLC control, and power supply, circuit breaker, and everything is all pretty much the same as the others, except the programming isn't as extensive as it is for the TAMP labeler. And everything is in a NEMA 4 enclosure, which means it's great for keeping all the dust and everything out of the unit so that we have long, long life. Okay, this is what we just ran. Trying to get a good shot of that so that you can see them.